Silversea Cruises. I'm Colleen McDaniel, Editor-in-Chief of Cruise Critic, and today I have the pleasure of being joined by Silversea Chief Commercial Officer, Barbara Muckermann. Barbara, thank you so much for joining us today. I'm so excited to talk about all the great things that you have on the horizon.
Thank you, Colleen. We're incredibly excited to talk to Cruise Critic. I mean, it's the website to go for anything cruises, and we're always excited to be able to talk to your wonderful followers.
Wonderful. Well, let's hop right in. This has been a really exciting period for Silversea, with 3 new ships coming out, one right after the other. Let's talk first about your newest expedition ship, Silver Origin.
Thank you, Colleen. I would say that saying it was an exciting period is a little bit of an understatement, particularly because, as you mentioned, we have been piling up quite a number of ships. So let's start with Silver Origin. Silver Origin is today the most elegant ship to sail the Galapagos Island. It's part of our expedition fleet. As such, is completely equipped with zodiacs and some amazing features like the largest LED screen in the whole of Ecuador to be able to have an interactive experience with the destination. Silver Origin is a 100-guest yacht. It is the only purpose ship built for a destination. So for Silversea, this is a first. This ship was designed specifically for the Galapagos weather. As you know, the Galapagos is in the equator, but due to the very particular current, it has a very unique microclimate that allows this amazing, wildlife to really have the maximum expression. So the Origin is probably the most special ship we ever built.
That's fantastic. Now, for the audience here, this is not just a sit and watch. This is an interactive experience. So we're going to have some poll questions along the way, and we're going to throw our very first poll question in right now. So for everybody here, please vote. How far in advance are you planning your next cruises? All right. Now, Barbara, back to Silversea. I had the pleasure of sailing on beautiful Silver Moon this summer, and it was an incredible experience. One of the things that I really loved was the fully integrated S.A.L.T program. What is S.A.L.T and why is it so special on Silver Moon?
So thank you for this question, Colleen. As you know, S.A.L.T is very close to my heart. So the Silver Moon is the second Muse class ships in the series. It is a 596 guests beauty with most restaurants you can find in this ship category, all the 9 yards of amenities, butlers, balconies, all balcony suites. But on top of that, it has what we call S.A.L.T, the sea and land taste. So this is the most immersive culinary program that you can find at sea. It is, in fact, a whole ecosystem. If you go on deck 4 of Silver Moon, you'll have the 3rd largest restaurant of the ship, S.A.L.T Kitchen. You'll have an amazing jewel of a bar, the S.A.L.T bar, and the S.A.L.T lab, which is actually a test kitchen, all areas completely dedicated to S.A.L.T. So S.A.L.T is a program that basically aims at immersing our guests in the culinary texture, colors, smells, and flavors of the destination. Because, as you know, Silversea is all about traveling deeper in luxury, and there is nothing really more important to understand the culture of any country we visit than their food expression, because it's really the strongest expression of any culture. This was the thought about S.A.L.T. So the restaurant will change menu daily. We had the pleasure of having dinner together at S.A.L.T Kitchen, and we were on Santorini, and we were having Santorini food that night. And the bar will offer all of these amazing alcohols, spirits, and cocktails from the era. Again, this summer we sailed mostly in Greece. We were offering more complimentary Greek wines than you can find for a charge at Milos in New York. The amazing variety. We had 8 different Greek beers, again, all inclusive. And then in the lab is really a test kitchen. So here is where we buy the cheeses, the spices, and then you can play with the chef. You will, of course, learn a little bit of cooking, but we're not expecting you to earn a diploma or sweat too much, but really enjoy and use the lab to understand the destination through the food. On top of that, there will be amazing salt excursions. I mean, they're one most incredible than the other. And of course, the larger salt lectures in the theater. So for the foodies on board, this will be really an occasion to live a unique culinary cruises. For the ones that just want to have a taste, that's fine as well. I mean, as always, on Silversea is all about choice. Now, this program will follow the moon in its itinerary. So you will have this amazing ship now going to the Caribbean, and after that to doing a Grand South America. So imagine the culinary diversity that we're going to encounter in this incredible continent.
That sounds fabulous. And we did have such a lovely experience sailing in Greece. I enjoyed it so much. I ate entirely too much. And I did enjoy some of those local spirits and beers in particular. It was lovely. All right. Well, we're going to go ahead and close our first poll, and you can see the results below. And we're going to open up our second one right away. So this one is, on my next cruise, I'm most excited about. Now you fill in the blank and wait for the results below. All right, back to you, Barbara. Now we had so much fun learning about the Greek culture and the role food plays into it on our sailing. And I've even used some of those lessons I learned at S.A.L.T Lab, trying some of the recipes at home and using some of those techniques that we were taught. When Silver Dawn debuts next spring, it also will feature the fully integrated S.A.L.T experience. What else will guests be able to enjoy on New Silver Dawn?
So as you know, we're always trying to surpass ourselves. Being a brand leader is really about making sure you always stay on top of trends. So on top of the amazing S.A.L.T experience, which will be replicated exactly with the same features as the moon on Silver Dawn gave us the occasion of really revisiting two aspects of the cruise. One, the spa and wellness program, and the other one, the suite experience. Because if we are thinking about the typical day on a ship, most of the day we are actually spending in the suite, at least because we're sleeping. So we've used, during the pandemic time, we've really done a deep research because there has always been one problem that was bothering Silversea. If you're looking at what our brand is about indulgence. It's about pampering our guests until they can't anymore. It's about wining and dining them. You always have a champagne glass in your hand if you're on Silversea. And so we always had a hard time to think about fitness and wellness, because here you enter into deprivation, you enter into sweating, you enter into celery juice. None of that was anywhere in the brand. So we thought, what about we take the creature comforts that are everywhere in the ship and we just extend them to the spa and fitness, and we stop pretending that you're going to lose weight on a Silversea ship. You won't. It's great that you're healthy, but you should probably concentrate on getting healthy when you're back on board, back ashore, at home, not on a ship. So here it was born Otium. Otium is a Latin name, which is basically the country of negotium, which means working. Otium means not working, just doing nothing in an amazing, pampered, and relaxed way. So, for example, you'll go and have your nails done in the salon or your hair in the saloon of Silver Dawn, and immediately a waiter will arrive with a glass of champagne or a martini, which, by the way, is the absolute normal thing to do in any decent spa in Europe. And then, of course, after a massage, why just stick to celery juice? You can have a hot chocolate, you can have more champagne, or whatever you really fancy. So this is the Otium spa and fitness piece. But as we're thinking about how can we find new ways of inflicting pampering to our guests, we really went back to the suite experience. And in particular, I think we are the first cruise line to really concentrate on the balcony experience. Because having all balconies basically on every ship, we realized we never made the product development effort on thinking, how can we make those special moments when you're outside in the balcony, grazing, looking outside at the sea, how can we make it more special? So you will basically have an Otium button, you'll call your butler arrives, and depending from the weather, they will provide different experiences on the balcony. Example of this, you're sailing cold water, he will arrive with a cashmere blanket and the hot chocolate done there, steered at the moment. Go and watch the videos. I drank it. It was amazing. Mine was a milk chocolate with rum. Hot chocolate was incredible. Or if you're in hot weather, it might be a pina colada and some spray or suntan. So this is one of the features. On top of that, we have a new sleep experience. So with a new mattress, pillow menu, scents, everything, so that you can really, have the sleep of your lifetime on board. And then we will have a new bath experience. So if you've been outside wandering, having an incredible adventure, by the time you come back, the butler will have drawn the most amazing bath for you. You'll have a new caddy where you will have your book open there, and of course, some beautiful treats. You want to stay in the suite at night? There will be movie night. So we'll have truffle popcorn plus a new menu of comfort foods. So Otium is just a new way of pampering our guests in the suite and at the Spa and Fitness. I can't wait to experience it myself, honestly.
That sounds incredible. And I will say, I've never not felt pampered on a Silversea cruise. So this takes it to a whole new level. I can't wait till this debuts. All right, now we are going to go ahead and close our second poll, and you can see the results on your screen right there. Thank you so much for voting. So Barbara, Otium just sounds absolutely amazing. But what really stands out to me is this feels like an elevation of an already really exciting luxury product. We've probably got a lot of people who haven't sailed with Silversea joining us today. Barbara, what should guests expect when they sail with Silversea, and what sets Silversea apart?
Well, Silversea is the ultimate luxury experience at sea. But this doesn't necessarily mean that comparatively to what it gives is the most expensive. So one of the things that I'm always saying to our prospects is make your calculations, because the inclusivity that you have in the price of Silversea is so incredible that actually if you do the math, you will see that on a value perspective offer, this is actually the best experience you can have. So today, thanks to our door-to-door service, we are the most inclusive experience at sea. What does this mean? You might know some large airlines like Emirates that if you're traveling business class are sending you a chauffeured vehicle at home. We offer this, so we pick you up at home. Then the flight is offered. The hotel pre-cruise, it's offered. You get on a cruise, shore excursions are included. There is a very large list of included wines, more than 60 on average per cruise. All meals are included. There's just 2 specialty restaurants where small nominal fees requested, but that's mostly for the space. Every activity on board is included, including the gratuities and, of course, the amazing butler service. So at the end of the day, if you're considering the all-inclusiveness of the product, this is really the most luxurious experience you can have, but it also has a value component to it.
That's incredible. Now, can you talk a little bit about your geographic reach? I think one of the things that really sets Silversea apart in my mind is the fact that really you can go anywhere on a Silversea cruise ship.
Well, thank you Colleen for that. That's absolutely right. So, well, the last time we checked, our closest competitor was serving about 350 destinations in the world. Every year we offer more than 900 on our catalog. So Silversea today has a fleet of 10 ships, but because they're small, they really manage to cover the whole world with a really, really strong footprint. And we always say 72% of the globe is actually covered by an ocean, and we do it all. So in the moment when you start thinking about a Silversea cruise a little bit like a safari at sea, you realize that thanks to our product, you can always reach the most remote corners of the world, but always with the same level of luxury. So with our expedition product, we do the poles. Again, poles with butler, with everything included, with an espresso, absolutely prepared to perfection in the middle of the South Pole. But that's Silversea. Then we do the Galapagos, we do the Kimberleys, we do the Russian Far East, which is an amazing destination. This is the Russian side of Alaska. So every remote corner of the world we will do through expedition. Then you want to go a little bit more mainstream through the rest of the fleet. We are basically covering all the 7 continents every year and in all different formats. So you might want to have a 7-day cruises. We have those mostly in Alaska, Mediterranean or North Europe. But you want to have a 2-week cruise. You'll have plenty to choose of. Or what something Silversea is very renowned for are our world cruises or grand voyages, which range from anything from a 40 to 140 days. So my point is that if you want to go somewhere in the world, you can find your ideal itinerary in our offering, and you will have the most luxurious experience with a really good value attached to it. And you'll never have to pack and unpack again. If you're going on our long voyages, we will even ship your luggage for free, so that if you are a guest on a world cruise of Silversea, you will leave your DHL at home and you will find it unpacked by the butler in the suite by the time you arrive. So this is the kind of service I'm talking about.
That sounds incredible. And it really takes away a lot of the hassle you can have, if you're trying to do a resort or a hotel vacation where, gosh, you have to worry about getting to the airport. You have to worry about your flight. You have to worry about getting to your hotel and all of your packing. It's all taken care of, door-to-door service. I love it. All right, folks. Now, we've talked a little bit about itineraries, and we want to know from you, what types of itineraries are you most interested in exploring? Vote now, and we will post the responses in a little bit. Now, speaking of geographic regions, Barbara, what is your favorite itinerary?
Okay, this is a really hard one. So I'm a cruiser. I love cruising. I have to say that if I have to choose a classic cruise, I would probably go for Far East. I was lucky enough to be born in the Mediterranean. I know the Mediterranean very well, where I always find that Far East always has new twists, from Hong Kong to Shanghai to Southeastern Asia. It's just so interesting. So that would be my to-go destination. From the expedition side, I was absolutely swept away by the Galapagos. That's next on my bucket list to go back on Silver Origin. And actually, the next expedition trip I will take is finally Antarctica. We have a new product that's called the Fly and Cruise. That's for the Harriet cruisers who doesn't want to do the Drake Passage, doesn't have much time. We actually fly the guests with a charter flight to Antarctica, to the peninsula itself, so that they can really live 5-6 days of the product and then fly back. So I'm going to finally test that in December, and I'm super excited about it.
Oh, that sounds really spectacular, because that Drake Passage, really from the southern tip of South America to Antarctica, can be notoriously bumpy. So that sounds like a great way of really getting the most out of your Antarctica cruise. All right, so is there a great sort of first-time destination or first-time itinerary for those who are new to Silversea?
I absolutely would recommend Alaska always. So Alaska was born for cruising, was born for luxury cruising. You have these amazing glaciers, this amazing wildlife. It's a domestic flight out of the US, and you can choose different lengths. I would absolutely say, if you haven't been to Alaska, you're really missing the core of cruising.
Oh, Alaska is so special, and that's such a great recommendation, because doing it in a luxury style is something, really incredible. And you've talked about the Otium experience, and certainly the idea of sitting out on your balcony and sailing by these beautiful glaciers with a cup of hot cocoa in your hand sounds like a pretty excellent experience to me. All right, folks, we are closing our last poll here, and thank you for voting, and you can see the results. All right, and that wraps it up here with Barbara today. Thank you so much for joining us, Barbara, and thank you to everybody who's taking the time to sit with us and learn a little bit more about Silversea and what is on the horizon for this great brand. Thank you, Barbara.
Thank you, Colleen. It's always wonderful to talk to Cruise Critic. You're my favorite website over any other one.
Well, thank you, Barbara. Take care.